Alrighty, let me see who else we had in here dropping some supers off on the front end. I ain't gonna hold you. I like when y'all drop the supers off on the front end. All right, I'll be coming in here like, oh, all right, they in the building, they here with us today. So salute to y'all. All right. But we have Raymond Kane. He says, "Dang, Deke left without putting in the 2-week notice. That's crazy. Any sleepers we should be looking out for in the combine? Have you taken a look at Dylan Sampson, the running back from Tennessee? Should he be an option late?" Shout out to the homie Raymond Kane, man. All love too, man. That's pertaining to the homie Deke, man. Like we said, man. Hey, man. Life's all right. You just gotta roll with it. You just gotta evolve. All right. That's just how it goes. Okay. So no hard feelings, no ill will. We wish the homie nothing but the best. All right. Now, for the rest of it. All right. Can we get to the rest of it real quick? Because I kind of like the rest of it more so than that part. All right. But as it pertains to sleepers in the draft, I guess depends on what you are classifying as a sleeper right now. But there are some names out here. I guess what I'll say is this, man. The way I'll classify a sleeper is guys that maybe don't go in the first round, I suppose. But if I had to just name a couple of sleepers, right, in terms of interior D-lineman, to me, Talik Williams, I like him out of Ohio State. TJ Sanders out of South Carolina, I think he's another one of those guys, big, long frame interior D-lineman, could play up and down the scheme in terms of being a 1 technique, 3 technique, or 5 technique. So that means base or sub package, which is our nickel. He could play Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, or at some times could even do a Keanu Benton type role. I like TJ Sanders a lot. I think he's one of those natural and gifted pass rushers. I also think that he has a consistent rush plan. You know, when you talk about a consistent rush plan, what I mean is this. Some guys, man, they just line up and the ball snaps and they just run. They're just like, yo, I'm fast, just go forward as fast as I can. Others, it's like, I'm trying to set up a move. I'm trying to get there. So I'm going to do this to get you to go here, to lead you here, and then that's when I'm going to drop you off there. When I look at TJ Sanders, man, he's one of those guys that I feel like rushes the passer with a plan. He understands how to put moves together. And when you're watching him with his counters and stuff like that, man, he's just a real nimble dude. And I think he does an excellent job of slipping blocks. And I think he plays really well against the run. And that's the other part, because it's like, yo, I see him dominate versus the pass, but versus the run, he could be pointed at that guy. But I think he does an excellent job when you're talking about D-line stunts and movements, man, where he gets to cut through, splitting blockers and stuff like that. And he has extremely long arms. And I think that's another huge asset to his game that really helps him out a lot. So if I'm talking about a sleeper, I guess TJ Sanders falls in that category. So I would say him. And if not TJ Sanders, another sleeper D lineman, I would say at least Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. I like him a lot. He's a little bit undersized compared to a TJ or some of these other guys that I've named in the past who are a little bit taller and stuff. But he's another one of those guys, positional flexibility. He could play the 1, the 3, the 5. So just like I said about TJ Sanders, he could play all of it, base or sub package. A little bit of a tweener from my eyes, though, when I look at just his body and how I think it shapes up compared to like the Cam Hayward types or even the Keanu Benton types. I just think that he's a little bit of a tweener. But I love his urgency. I love his motor. Oh, my gosh. Like, he wins with skill. He wins with strength because you watch him. He's like definitely a powerful guy. But I feel like his motor is very similar to when you watch TJ Watt. Like TJ, we already know is like super skilled, right? We know he has all the pass rush moves in the world. But TJ's motor also is a huge part of what makes him great. He plays so hard. He's so relentless that even if you happen to block him, he's going to be chasing this dude the whole time the play is going on, to the point where you just feel like it was 30 TJ Watts on the field. Walter Nolan plays with a similar type of urgency, a similar type of motor. And I think that that's going to be a huge asset wherever he lands. So he's another one of those guys. My only thing that I would say as a critique, I think that he does need to improve his hand usage. And that's partly why I have him down a little bit lower compared to some of my other interior D linemen that I have like ranked higher, the Kenneth Grants of the world, the Mason Grahams of the world, right? Those guys I have a little bit higher because of, I think they're more fundamentally sound. But Walter Nolan, though, man, like I said, the hand usage I think could be improved. And I just think that for his size, he could be more athletic when you're comparing him to the Mason Grahams of the world and the Kenneth Grants. I think those guys bigger play a lot. I think they're a little bit more athletic than than Walter Nolan. But as a whole, I think Walter Nolan's a heck of a player. And I think that's why for me, I'm like, if we're considering those, guys sleepers, then I would say them. But to me, I'm like, yeah, I don't look at them as sleepers. I think that those dudes, man, should be known and should be talked about and should be talked about a lot because they're going to help somebody out. Like I said, if they come to Pittsburgh, I think we would love them. I think if we end up having to play against them, yeah, it'll suck a little bit because those two dudes, man, they were productive in college, and I think that their game will translate to the next level, and they'll be productive players at this stage, man. So, like I said, man, those would be the two guys that I would say would be sleepers